Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
And tonight at 10, severe storms tear through Connecticut, a dark and brooding scene across much of the northern part of the state. We'll take a look at the damage in some spots.
New video tonight, a disturbing look tonight at what Uvalde police missed. We're seeing surveillance video for the very first time and walking you through police in action when a gunman stormed the Texas elementary school.
And crop concerns in Connecticut. The dry weather we've been dealing with is putting farmers in a troubling predicament.
But we start with that weather alert across our state and the strong storms that swept through Connecticut tonight. Thanks for joining us here on the News at 10. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Yeah, we saw heavy rain, gusty winds, thunder, lightning, you name it. Check out the conditions overhead in Enfield earlier tonight. Garrett shares this video of some dark and dangerous looking clouds overhead as those storms scrape the northern border.
And those storms left quite a path for damage, taking down trees, even knocking out power for some people. This is what it looked like in Enfield shortly after those storms ripped on through. You could see the amount of damage left behind in their track. Meteorologist Ryan Breton in for Rachel Frank tonight with the first check of the forecast. A busy night, Ryan.
Sure was, Ben and Sarah, especially in northern Connecticut. The big cities, Hartford, Waterbury, New Haven, New London, pretty much missing out on this. It was mainly northern Connecticut that saw the storms. We still have a few lingering showers, one just to the north of New Haven headed through Wallingford, another shower headed into Litchfield County at the moment. But there still is some pretty impressive thunder and lightning moving through the quiet corner right now, right along 395, Putnam, Pomfret. Very heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and some gusty winds in here as well. Take a look at all the storm damage reports and notice where they were clustered. Northern Connecticut into western Massachusetts. A total of 37 reports of thunderstorm wind damage. Here are just a few examples. One in Windsor Locks, a tree came down on Holcomb Terrace, and also not far from there was a lightning strike that set a portion of a house on fire in Windsor Locks. So the good news is the storms will start ending in the next couple of hours. It stays warm and very humid overnight. The low temperature only around 70. Tomorrow, though, we have a winner of a day ahead. No storms in the forecast tomorrow. It is a humid start to the day with temperatures that will be around 70. Plenty of sunshine all day long tomorrow, and it gets hot. High temperatures get up close to 90. But one difference tomorrow is that the humidity will begin dropping in the afternoon, so drier air begins to move in. Next chance for any rain tomorrow night, and then perhaps a couple of thunderstorms on Thursday. We'll take a closer look at that coming up in just a little while.
Ryan, we'll see you in a bit. Remember, whenever severe weather happens in our state, you can always check out the Fox 61 News app. You can track live radar conditions, get the hour-by-hour forecast, and see what the weather has in store for the rest of your week. It's free to download for your smartphone or your mobile device.
Well, tonight, heart-stopping video from Uvalde, Texas. 19 children and 2 adults were gunned down in an attack at Robb Elementary School. And tonight, we're looking at what happened that morning.
Parents, leaders, community members, all demanding answers as to why it took officials so long to confront the gunman. Fox 61 has obtained video from our sister station in Austin, Texas, from inside Robb Elementary School. Alicia Machado joining us live in studio tonight with that video and reaction to it. Alicia.
Well, the video shows the moments the gunman entered the school and began shooting into a classroom. Now, we want to warn you that the video you're about to see is graphic and difficult to watch. We've chosen to omit portions of the video and audio out of respect for the families who have lost their loved ones, as well as for those who have lost children and loved ones here in Connecticut to gun violence following the Sandy Hook tragedy. Cameras inside a Robb Elementary School hallway show the moments a gunman walked inside the Uvalde, Texas school carrying a long gun. Video obtained by our sister station KView in Austin, Texas shows the gunman walk down the hallway toward a classroom. The time, 11:33 a.m. Seconds later, a young boy turns the corner, witnessing the gunman and watching the first shots fired into a classroom. We pause the video before he starts firing multiple shots in the classroom with teachers and children inside, screaming. We've chosen not to play the audio from those next moments as it's difficult to listen to. As the gunman fires, you can see the boy runs away. 10-year-old Chloe Torres survived the school shooting.
He started saying, he'll die. And my teachers, they were screaming, saying, no, he shot my friends and my teachers.
Officers arrive in the school hallway about 3 minutes after the gunman. The time, 11:36 a.m. Video shows law enforcement approach the classroom and then retreat as we hear the sound of gunshots. Several more armed officers arrive in the time that follows. We've sped up the clip to show you the time lapse of how long it takes authorities to begin to move toward the classroom and towards the gunman. During this time, as officers waited to go in, parents outside the school pleaded with officers to save their children. Finally, officers begin to approach the classroom at 12:21 p.m., 45 minutes after the first officers arrived. Video then appears to show the officers make entry into the classroom about 70 minutes after the first officers arrived on scene and take down the suspect around 12:50 p.m., identified as 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. In the weeks that followed this shooting, residents in Uvalde and across the nation questioning if law enforcement should have acted quicker.
You know he was shooting. You know he has a gun. You know there's kids in there. You have to get in there.
A lot more could have been prevented, prepared.
We showed the video to John Vallecca, a criminal justice professor with more than 20 years of law enforcement experience, serving as chief of detectives and then acting chief for New Haven PD during that time.
What I've seen was cowardly. They had all the necessary personnel and all the necessary equipment to handle this job. They chose not to. They chose to fall back and stand by and wait for and that's the wrong decision to make.
Now, we will have more from Vallecca on how law enforcement agencies typically handle active shooter situations and what he says is important moving forward, coming up on the Fox 61 News at 11. In studio, Alicia Machado, Fox 61 News.
All right, Alicia, thank you. Well, the release of this video comes on the same day that families who lost loved ones in Uvalde, Texas, and in Highland Park, Illinois, were on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy tweeted out that he met with parents of kids killed in Uvalde and survivors of Highland Park after the deadly shooting at a 4th of July parade there. Senator Murphy called this one of the most devastating, emotional meetings of his career and called this a reminder, quote, "We have more work to do."
The director of the Texas Department of Public Safety is responding to the video. Director Stephen McGraw released a statement that reads in part, quote, "I am deeply disappointed this video was released before all the families who were impacted that day and the community of Uvalde had the opportunity to view it. Those most affected should have been among the first to see it. This video provides horrifying evidence that the law enforcement response to the attack at Robb Elementary on May 24th was an abject failure. In law enforcement, when one officer fails, we all fail," end quote. You can expect more from Fox 61 on the Texas school shooting. We have more information, including more of that video obtained from inside the elementary school. That's online at fox61.com, on the Fox 61 News app, and on Fox 61 Plus.
Moving on here, new at 10 tonight, Vernon police investigating after a woman was found dead inside of a home this morning. The 57-year-old woman was found inside of a home on Park West Drive. At this time tonight, the police department's calling this an untimely death, but are not calling her death suspicious. Anyone with information is being asked to call police. To Naugatuck tonight, where a man is in critical condition after he was hit by a car while trying to stop a car break-in. Police say the man tried to confront the suspect who was trying to break into his vehicle on Alma Street. While doing so, police say the man was hit by another car that then just sped off. Police are now looking for neighbors who might have some type of surveillance cameras to help with their investigation.
A teenager is under arrest, charged in a double shooting in New Haven. Police say 2 men were shot along Kimberly Avenue between Lamberton Street and Howard Avenue Monday night. Both men suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police identified the suspect and found him inside a house on Howard Avenue. He was taken into custody and now faces a slew of charges. Firefighters are looking for what started a fire inside a detached garage in Tolland this afternoon. This happened at a home on Old Kent North Road. Firefighters from surrounding towns had to be called in to help while flames spread to the home. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Crews say the temperatures played a factor in their fight as firefighters had to rotate in and out because of extreme heat.
In Norwich, several people were hurt after a fire quickly spread through a multi-use building. When crews arrived on scene along Main Street, firefighters found one resident trying to put out the fire themselves. Several residents and 3 firefighters were treated for injuries. The fire department says the building was built back in the 1800s, had numerous modifications that allowed that fire to spread.
And we have new details from Cheshire. Authorities have released the name of the teen who drowned at Mixville Park. The body of 18-year-old Jefferson Loha was pulled from the water Monday. Police and dive teams responded to Mixville Park Sunday afternoon after getting reports the teen had gone missing. Family members say Loha is originally from Ecuador. He was staying with family here in Connecticut. All new at 10 tonight. It's been quite the summer already with the heat and humidity, but the lack of rain is proving to be tough on farmers and their crops. Farm owners are facing even more challenges in what has already been a challenging year. Fox 61's Gabby Molina is live in Simsbury tonight to explain. Gabby.
Well, Sarah, we did finally get some rain today here in Simsbury. It wasn't a lot, but anything helps during a dry streak like the one that we've been experiencing, one that's already started to have an impact on crops. The summer sun has been beating down this month, leaving crops thirsty for some rain.
But we need a couple inches of rain, right? You know, an inch a week is ideal. And if you don't get that, it builds up. Anything we could get would be an improvement over this.
According to the U.S. Drought Monitor, the eastern half of the state is in a moderate drought, and the central part is abnormally dry. It makes for a challenging time for farmers. Don Tuller, owner of Tollmeadow Farm in Simsbury, says the lack of rain has started to impact his corn.
This is just a sign of drought stress. The plant is trying to defend itself. It doesn't have enough moisture in it to maintain the open. I mean, normally these leaves would all be out flat, trying to absorb as much sunlight as possible.
It's the opposite problem farmers faced last July, which was wetter than usual.
Last year, there was tremendous crop losses to wetness. I mean, floods, thousands of acres of crops were destroyed last year because of too much rain.
The key is to strike a balance. But even before the summer, this year's weather created challenges.
We had a cool spring, which kind of slowed things down. A lot of wind, which really did a lot of, made it really hard for plants to do well.
And farmers have had to deal with the impacts of inflation, with the cost of fuel, fertilizer, and more on the rise. Plus, the always existing struggle of running a small business.
You're competing against supermarkets, and they're getting stuff from areas that have lower labor costs and maybe have, more favorable weather this year.
That's why customers we spoke to said they make it a point to try to shop local.
This is a family gem. Like, everybody comes here. The ice cream is great.
We like to show love, show support, especially because of what they do.
Now, the good news here at Tollmeadow Farm is that one of their most popular products is ice cream, so all of those sunny days are great for bringing customers in, even if it's not so great for the crops. Live in Simsbury, Gabby Molina, Fox 61 News.